Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I feel the same way about it as you.
Mm-hmm. Why? So I think about the word should a lot. I get my, actually from like this Naval, it's downstream of Naval,
Mm-hmm.
like his
Yeah.
emphasis on language and his emphasis on the importance of, like the noises and like exactly what you said, but the noises include language, right? And if that
Yeah.
affects our reality and
So your variation was if blah 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 then.
if then.
Yeah.
It's if then.
So I think when I say should, the if for me, it's just implied in my head. Like I don't say it, but I think the should is. It's kind of like for your logic, the should or however you word it comes after the if, and I think for me the if is just implied, so I say should, but it's not should as in like it's a universal should. But it's like when I use the word should, it typically naturally already follows the if, and the if for me is usually like my values, goals, and interests.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I should ask, like, have you ever felt any type of way towards the word should, or do you feel like it's something that won't affect your future personally?
You know, now that you bring it up and I'm thinking about it, because I normally don't think about this word, I think I usually use it on myself with no hesitation, but I do think when I talk to other people, and let me think if this is true, but I think I avoid using it naturally with other people because I like to avoid bossy language, and I like to avoid language that comes off as unsolicited advice. So I actually feel like I don't use it as much with other people, maybe subconsciously. But I think with myself, because it's me, and I think, like, it's kind of like, I feel like I get to tell myself what to do, but I don't get to tell you what to do. I'm not your mom, you know? So I use it on me, but I do feel like I don't use it much with other people now that I look it up.
I'll give you this. One of my favorite mental models is this idea of like talking to your 80-year-old self and seeing what they would say about your life right now. And another great mental model, not to put that model to the side for a second, but I think what's more important is that the way you coach someone else is exactly the same as the way you should coach yourself. You know this, I presume.
Really, I don't agree.
I personally think that way, and I don't want to put my weight behind it. I got it from a really rich guy. Gosh, I forget his name.
You use the word should there too, right? The way you coach someone is how you should. We might have to watch it back. It's not.
We can watch it back.
It's not 100% confidence, but I think you use the word should. So I'm wondering.
No, don't worry.
My interest. What's the?
I'm here. But what I will say is that it's a beneficial way to look at things if you have dramatic and important goals, in my opinion. Because, for example, when I'm telling you about content creation, and I messed up, but I probably used the word should somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Like, I could easily get out the gate with, you should do content creation. But that wouldn't land. That kind of doesn't really do anything. It's like, oh yeah, I should. And then it kind of ends there, right? But if I said, what do you want? And then you say like, oh, I want to help more people, for example, get better at speaking. It's like, oh, like, what about that guy across the country? How do you help him? It's like, oh, I don't know, I guess I'd have to make a video. It's like, oh, then you should. Then making a video would probably help that guy. Right? I literally was gonna use the word should there because you mentioned that. I've definitely used it in this conversation, but I'm trying actively to avoid it. So and
it's like when I call it out, I'm not trying to like catch you. It's more like I'm curious the thought process behind using it there. Since you use it with intention or don't use it with intention, I hope you know it's not coming from a place of like, oh, caught you. It's more like, oh, like what was the thought process behind why it makes sense in that sentence.
So the thought process is I made a mistake. I'm really trying to get rid of it, but it's so easy to use. It's so easy to use. Like a lot of I'd call it loaded language. Like in debate, it's like a loaded question. You know, in my opinion, a should is like one of the most loaded words on the planet because like
on the planet.
Like seriously, like I really don't like it.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't think it's helpful. I think it's helpful if you're trying to skirt around an issue. For example, like you should do content creation. Yeah, I should do content creation. I should eat healthier. I should talk to my mom more. I should do this and that, right? But if you don't start using if-thens, nothing happens from those shoulds, in my opinion. Not that nothing happens. Some people do take action off shoulds. They're like, the 10th should in a row, they're like, wow, I should probably do that, right? But if you're using if-then, it's clear in that moment, right there. It's decisive. It's persuasive in sales.
How do you feel about this? This is something I want to hear your thoughts on.
Please.
So, I feel like with your description, as I'm continuing to understand your opinion on the word should, I feel like you tie should with mindset. And should is a reflection of mindset, and the if then is your way of shifting the mindset in the way of thinking. But I feel like for me, they can be linked, but I think it's not necessary that it has to be. So for me, I feel like I separate it where I follow your mindset of the if-then mindset. Is that if-then?
Yeah.
Is that right? I'm sure you're right. The if-then mindset where I have that mindset, right? Where everything you talk about, like driving action, right? It doesn't just come from saying something as like I should, blah, blah, blah. It comes from that thought process. And I feel like the should is your vehicle for driving that mindset. But then what if someone, because for me, I feel like I agree with you in terms of mindset, but it's not linked to the word should. I use the word should in the way I speak, but the way my brain is thinking, you know how I said the if is implied in my head?
Yeah.
It's like I follow that mindset and the word doesn't stop me from having that mindset. So I feel like it's not, is it correlation? Is it not causation? Does that apply? It popped in my brain, but I need it. Is that
Correlation
it applies?
is a thing, but I'm not sure if it applies specifically.
Yeah, I don't think that's the best way of talking about this, so I'm going to throw that thought out. But how do you feel about what I said?
Yeah, so I'll say that.
And I want to go back to the whole coaching thing you said too.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, after this.
What I will say is that if you say the word should out loud and your purpose is to communicate clearly, then should is the word that the person hears. It doesn't matter your intention, it doesn't matter your mental model. Maybe for yourself, it helps, of course, like, do what helps you, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't matter to me as far as what you do for yourself, right? What matters to me is when you start introducing another person, then the word should comes out, and now they're thinking subconsciously that should isn't okay. Especially, okay, I'm just gonna imagine you are an extremely authoritative person within the dynamic of the conversation, which I'm guessing is most circumstances for you.
Are you talking about in general?
In general.
Authoritative.
Yeah, like.
I wouldn't say that. Yeah, I actually
Really?
don't agree. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get rid of that.
But yeah, okay, yeah. No, but I'm okay with using it as like an example.
Okay, then let's use it
I don't
as
mind
an
that,
example. So, as an example, if you are an authoritative individual in a conversation and you use the word
we should do a podcast. Sorry, I just thought of it. We should do a podcast episode. We kind of are, but we should do like a formal one. Yeah, we'll go on.
It gives me a lot to think about. I just cracked my fingers like I can move my fingers. Anyway.
Yeah.
Like, should is what the person hears. Therefore, if you are an authoritative figure in that conversation, they will think that's okay. A better way to frame it, and I'll keep the thread of the coaching thing you want to get back to, just so we don't forget.
I think you're figuring out how to articulate it. I think I know the thought you're getting at. I still want you to think word it the way you naturally would first before I put words in your mouth. But I think I am kind of feeling where you're going with it.
I'll finish my thought really quick.
Yeah.
Basically, Immanuel Kant is a philosopher, old guy. He talks about the categorical imperative. You've probably heard of that one.
I haven't.
It's categorical imperative is basically a philosophical idea that what you do can be universalized in its entirety. Some things are obvious, like don't murder or something, like not everyone should do, or don't steal, generally speaking, under certain circumstances, it's kind of universalized. Like just try not to do these things for the benefit of society, for the individual, for the relationship. And should is one of those things that if you put it through Kant's categorical imperative, for me personally, I don't think it's something I can universalize. It might be if your ideal is comfort and relatability, then should might be applicable in that circumstance. Therefore, I wouldn't necessarily disqualify should from being used under those circumstances, because should is really, it eases the pressure, Is
this correct? My understanding of what you're trying to say. So are you saying that, let's say I should XYZ, are you saying that subconsciously you as the listener will kind of like, I don't know if project is the word, but like project my belief about myself onto like, you would naturally think I think this universally? Is that what you're trying to say, or am I misinterpreting?
Like I think when you are in a conversation with someone else, in my opinion, you're implanting subconscious ideas into them, whether you think so or not.
I agree
and
with that.
Should is one of those ideas that I don't think is valuable to implant in other people's ideas. So for you, it might be beneficial, but when you're
so am I implanting the idea of what I think I should do to you? Is that what you're saying? Because if I use it about me specifically,
even if you use it about you,
what is it implanting?
To me,
okay.
To me, it's implanting the idea that should is how I should talk to myself. Should talk to myself would be the way I talk to myself to get this specific outcome, right?
So you're saying that. Okay, so in this situation, you would be mirroring me.
Kind of, yes.
Okay. So it would be like,
not everyone thinks like this.
Yeah.
Not everyone really hears the word should and is like, oh, I really should use that in my language, and it goes from there, right? But I do, and there will be people who do.
Oh, so you're saying that you think using should in general is not beneficial, right? In general, and so by saying should in conversation, you encourage another person subconsciously to also say that, and then you don't want them to use that language more because you think that language is not helpful.
See, this is where it gets a little bit more philosophically complicated, because I brought up the comfort and relatability of values first. So that's a value premise. In order to, I'm gonna call myself out. I was gonna use big philosophy, but I'm just gonna say, if you value comfortability and relatability, should is the way to go. Because it's like, oh, you should do this, should that. It's like not too confrontational, and I probably still will use should to some people because I know they value those values. So I'm gonna use that in that context. But I know, or you can correct me if I'm wrong, I know you value excellence and becoming better and growing, and for you, this is why I'm preaching this pretty hard right now.
So you're saying that you're talking about should in my language affecting what I'm communicating to the other person in my position. So for example, relatability would kind of be like we're like equals. Maybe like certain language would communicate that like I'm a superior. Certain languages communicate different. So you said that using should is linked with the relatability comfort side. So what, and then so not using should, what's the equivalent for that? What is it?
If then, right? If then is my replacement for should. Is that what we're talking about?
We're talking, I guess, more so not using it, but it could be the replacement. But more so, so you said if we use the word should, it's if the goal is right relatability and comfort, it works. Keep should. But you're saying don't use should in the case of. So what's the
in the case of growth.
Growth for who?
Growth for both parties, and not everyone is trying to grow. Is the thing. Sometimes we're just trying to like shoot the shit for my French, and
growth for both parties.
Yes, in my opinion, and I in like
growth in the way. What type of growth? Or it just depends.
I think this is where the nuances get in there, because sometimes, well, I just think this is the language that high performers use. This is my opinion. I could probably back this up with the fact that I just don't have one right now.
Yeah.
High performers use if-then statements because it makes reality bend to their will, and bend to their will quickly. And because they don't think, oh, I should practice. They think, if I want to get the gold medal, I'm going to practice today for 4 hours. They're never thinking, should doesn't even enter their consciousness. It just happens because the if-then flows. It's like a decision tree, right? But that's a high performer, right? They're under a lot of pressure to whoever's pressuring themselves or other external pressures, they're under a lot of pressure to perform. So these if-thens happen naturally. They might not have a person talking about, oh, you gotta use if-then. They're just doing the if-then.
Yeah.
Because their if is the gold medal, right? And that's why goals are important as well. That's why they talk about goals in philosophy. There's a philosophical word for goals. It's called teleology. And finding your telos, as they would say philosophically, is important because you can't generate an if without a telos.
Yeah. Wait, so in the if-then thing, do you use the word should after then? I don't remember.
No. So you say, okay, I'll just give an example.
Yeah.
If you want to be better at speaking, then you practice speaking. There is no should in there. There's no place for
an
should.
objective fact.
Exactly. So I talked about the is OCAP before, but we're kind of like all in the realm of is, which is great because is can generate action and is defensible logically and is defensible objectively. For example, you could disagree with my is, or you could disagree with the then, right? But then we just change those, right? And then it's really just slot them in. Versus should, it's like should based on what? Then you replace should with if then right there as soon as you start to define it.
So if you were to summarize in one simple sentence to like a 12-year-old, right? It's like
Please.
Uncle Kento. Right, the told me is Uncle Kento. So why is using the word should not helpful to my growth?
Yeah.
How would you answer that in one sentence to a 12-year-old?
Now that's a good question. That's a good question.
And I'm very something of your interest. I think something that could be a fun challenge for you in general in conversation that I think you might find fun, maybe not, but is you have an interest in a lot of complex ideas, especially with philosophy. Like I see your intentional effort to not use like certain words you think I might not know, which is very thoughtful. And you probably heard this before, where like a sign of intelligence is ability to explain complex ideas simply, and I think you make an effort to do that. But I think if you ever try to do that as like an intentional activity and turn it to 100, like go from like complex to pretty simple to complex to like 5-year-olds can understand, it's a really great like just kind of thought communication exercise that can be really useful, especially because I think it's very applicable to the conversations you have and the videos you make. So just an idea. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
No. You're right. First of all, I need to do that more. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And so if I were to explain it simply for a 12-year-old, okay, I really gotta think, because
yeah, it's a hard ask.
Yeah, no, it is. I would ask the 12-year-old, what do they want? And let's say I'm asking you, okay, what do you want? And it could be anything. It could be what a 12-year-old wants.
I want to save up for a lollipop.
Okay, you want to save up for a lollipop.
Yeah.
So if you ask yourself, what does saving up for a lollipop mean? It means I need money.
And then she doesn't know, so she's like,
Okay.
I should save my allowance.
Mm-hmm.
Mom gives me 10 cents every week.
Okay, beautiful. I love
and
that.
the lollipop's $1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should save 10 cents.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to save 10 cents every week.
Yeah, so now notice how you said should. I should save 10 cents.
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel when you say should?
I feel like it's a thing I need to start doing.
Okay, so that's good. You think it's important, and I see that.
But you say should is bad.
Yes.
Why is it good?
So, great question. This is good. I never thought I'd be in this.
Yeah.
That's why I hate kids.
Yeah.
No. This is important. So.
And I have another idea. And we didn't even get back to the other thing, but
Oh,
and then I have another idea. Okay, we'll go back to that idea in another
fun.
one. Yeah,
No,
this is fun.
crazy.
This is so fun though.
No,
yeah.
this is good.
I'm
This is
such a
good.
nerd for like conversations and like discourse and like not like debates.
Yeah.
But like in a way you could consider this like a debate, but I love it.
No, it's good. Okay, great. You are right. I did say should was bad, but I just told you that you're valuing. I just told you that you think it's important. So, I'll just say in psychology, behavioral psychology.
What's
Is that too
that?
many words? That's too many
What's
words.
that?
Shit.
And then okay,
I already lost the fucking
This is just
12-year-old.
me playing around with you, but her attention span. She has a TikTok brain, so you're losing her. On
I
TikTok,
lost-
so you're
dude.
losing her. But she's a patient 12-year-old, so
Yeah.
you
You can tell I haven't practiced this.
You know what okay, this is an idea, and this is
Please.
a genuine idea. It's not me.
I lost this example.
No, you're good. And it's like.
You're right. You're
And
right. No, you're right.
And I'm gonna preface this because I want you to know this is just a genuine. It's not me trying to sell you and like trying to get a client. It's literally just an idea, and like it's like not a pressure thing. But through our conversation, something that I thought of a couple times is, for you make a lot of explanation videos, and you have a lot of these really interesting conversations like we had. I'm assuming I'm not the only one you have this with,
Yeah.
where you're explaining things. And I think you're very passionate about sharing this knowledge and these ideas with people, as you do on social media. And I don't know how much you're pursuing social media for like a potential career or monetary gain, but if that is the case, it's really important. And while we talk, like I observe governments talking, right? And there's things I pick up on, things you do very well, things that I naturally think of, like the activity I just did with you, like activities like that I naturally think of where I'm like, I think activities like this, if you practice with me, like you could elevate this part of your speaking that I think would make your messages more impactful in conversation and in your videos. And even when I was watching your videos, and I usually when I give people my thoughts on their speaking, I like to be very careful, but we've talked for 4 hours, so I feel comfortable to share this. I never want to come off as like I know stuff. Yeah, but I think there's things I naturally notice where I'm like, I feel like if you work on these certain things, and I can give you specific examples after if you want, but I'm like, I don't know, I might not know everything you know about social media, but just when it comes to like impact of like communication, it's like, if you tweak these certain things, I think you reach your wider audience. I think there's certain things you do where I'm like, because you do this trait, you lose certain people, right? Out of 100 people that watch you, I know this type of person might get lost because you do this thing, but if you change that, and you seem like someone who's, because you're intense, I think you'd be a good learner, like very coachable, and I'm like, I feel like if you tweak this, now those 30 you lost because of that, now that's another 30 that would keep watching. So there's just things, and I think it would be really fun to do that with you, and even as a friend, like stuff like I don't just as a friend. I think in a normal convo it would be fun to do. But if you ever did get coaching, I think stuff like that, like that I pick up on, that if you worked on it, I think just in I don't know if you would ever want to start a podcast. I see a lot of potential with you doing something. I guess that's just a longer version of what you do, anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just an idea. Like I think that's something that I just like naturally thought of for you, but it's not at all in like a me pressuring you to be a client way. It's literally a genuine idea. Yeah.
It's a good pitch. I would say I like the use of my pain point. Like for example, I'm losing attention. I really like the attention on that as a whole.
Yeah.
But I will say that what would I say to that?
And you don't even, it's like literally just not, it's not even like you need to give me a response. It's literally just something I thought of that I would share, and it's not even like a yes, no. Like I'm not even asking, do you want to be a client? Like that's not even, it's just a genuine thought I had. And yeah, because it's like, remember the guy I evaluated, Paul?
Yeah.
And like you know how you said you picked up on some of the things he did too, right? Getting really nerdy with it, very niche. Making it more digestible, and you like the way I phrased it.
Who are we talking about?
The guy I evaluated, the Indian guy.
Yes.
Yeah, him.
I forgot his name, so when you say calls.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Call, I remember.
I'm glad you clarified. It's good you know who I'm talking about.
Yes.
But with him, he like, right? I think he should work on. If he wanted to, blah blah blah.
Don't worry.
Right now, but if he should work on, in my opinion, is digestibility. And like he says some stuff, like there were a few people in the room that loved it, right? You don't know the names, but there are some people like he's really into the Play-Doh stuff too, so he loved it, right? But it's like there were a lot of people in the room that weren't into Play-Doh and that stuff, and if he made it more digestible, he would keep a lot more of us, and a lot more of us would be. Everyone, you have a world, right? And like, let's say you have an interest like philosophy, that's your world, and when someone doesn't know how to properly bring the listener into their world, the listener is outside their world. So you're talking about your world, and I'm like kind of left out. Like I'm listening and I kind of understand, but I'm not in your world.
We're closing for the night.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay. What a shame.
No, right? We'll hang out again.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, but